Alright, so I had a customer order this 1776 23 inches by 23 and this carbon fiber vinyl. Well, all I had was this sheet left. Okay, so I've got after cutting that first one, I've got basically a 10 inch by 24 inch piece. So I'm going to manually cut out, I'm going to cut out each star, then the numbers, and I'm about to manually place them to make that other decal, because they bought two of them. So we're going to try that out and see how it turns out. So I've already cut the 10 inches off this piece here, so that's what I got left. That's all I got left. All right, let's give it a try. All right, so basically I've took the 1776 was already built, put together, and I individually placed each star to make as much use as I can of the material. Now remember, I had about 10 inches by 24, so I went up into my page setup here, and I always set my cutting mat at 12 by 24, and then I adjust width and height down here. Even if it's only 8 inches, I'll still do the 12 by 24 and then put the height to 8 inches. So I set my width at 10 inches, height at 24. That way I know where I can stop. And this one is barely, I could probably click on that, notch it over maybe right there. But that's okay, because I think I have an extra one, and I do have an extra piece that's about 10 by 12 if I need to use it. You can see all the parts here. So I got 15 stars. Now that original piece I cut, it did lob off a point on one of the stars, so I have to replace that. So that leaves me with one extra after it's all done. Okay, so I'm gonna send it over. Now my blade settings here, I've got this dial set to 4 on my 4, so I've got it at 14, speed at 5. That's my preferences. I've already ran a test and tried it, and everything works out, so we're good there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and send this through, and then we'll do the weeding, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna place everything. If I can get it to go. This dang thing is right in my way. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay, so when that message comes up, I always hit no. Now the reason it's doing that is this point right here. It's a little bit too big. Now I do know on my vinyl that I'm actually about here on my vinyl. So I'm about 10.5. So I'm going to go ahead and just change my width to 11, because all I need to do is compensate for that one little point. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. I don't know if you can see my screen record controls down here, but they're in the way, so I had to minimize this window. It's another sticker I'm working on. I'll do a video on that once it's done. Okay, let's go to the weeding. Okay, so everything's cut. As you can see, so this is where all the replacement parts are. And on this one, see how my machine, this star got a little bit trimmed off. So I need to fix that. And then I need to make the other piece out of this one. So we're gonna do that really quick before I do the fun stuff. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and put a piece of scrap under here, okay? And then I'm gonna tape it together. Just that way nothing moves. Now, before I do all the other stuff too, I need to weed this piece here. I got my machine settings where they're gonna, I shouldn't have too much trouble weeding here, so. Yeah, see, everything's just coming right up. This carbon fiber, it's I hate it, to be honest. And the listing that I have, I tried to go in and edit and remove the carbon fiber option, but I have been totally trying to leave eBay. I've got a bunch of negative feedback, and I'll tell you why. Post office with stamped mail, well, they don't always deliver very fast. So with eBay, your customers, they think it's Amazon, where if they don't get their item when they want it, they're gonna leave you negative feedback. And we all know the post office loses items. They might, you know, take, and I put on my listing description that direct quote from the post office's website may take up to 6 weeks, depending on area, weather, you know, all that fun stuff. It doesn't matter though. And that's why I'm tired of eBay. Not only that, but I had that stalker who deliberately bought about 30 items just to leave negative feedback on each item. And eBay removed, I think, maybe half of them. And I had all the proof that she did it on purpose, but didn't matter. So that's my qualm with eBay. Now, I can't even remember what got me talking about that. Okay, so we need to. God, I didn't even check to make sure these stars are the same size, but they are. Boy, that would have been a disaster. Okay, so we need to take this ruined one off. And I just want to look at something really. I'm looking at the lines to make sure I can see where it's gonna go. And this backing paper on the carbon fiber, really light. So this pen ain't gonna make it ain't gonna hurt nothing by me doing that. Okay, so that star with the missing point, and I probably could have just made a point, replaced it, but that's a bad business there. Just don't do that. All right, so we're gonna put this on. I'm just gonna do one of the points for now. Yeah, so we'll go there. Okay, so everything went on okay, but it's still a little off. So I'm gonna come here. So the easiest way to do it is to get one of the points and then kind of move it around like this, side by side where you want it. And that's perfect. Okay, perfect. See that? Okay, so that one's good, except for this star hanging out the side here. But I have this other backing paper under it. So, what I need to do now is I need to tape the whole thing, pick it up, and then drop it back down on a fresh piece of backing paper. Or I can use the same one and just move it up a bit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get our tape. Just came up here. That paper, it's a little glossy, so that Scotch tape's not sticking to it very good. All right. I am just... Okay, so we got our transfer tape ready. So I can either flip it around, drop it down on the design, which normally that's what I do, but since these two pieces of paper aren't connected, I'm gonna do it this way, where I bow the middle, and there's plenty of tape here, transfer tape, so you got to worry about, I mean you do, but it's not as bad to go to one side more than the other. All right, squeegee. Where the hell's my squeegee at? There. Okay, now one of the complaints in some of my previous videos are about carbon fiber is it's really hard to get up off of the backing paper, and that's why it just drives me nuts. But look at that, it's coming right up. You might have to start like see how that 6 ain't coming up, so I'm gonna bring it back over, roll my fingernail over it. That's what I mean by starting it. It just gives it kind of a little boost to help it come up off that paper. And I would do this anyway, even if everything went smooth, just so I know the customer's not going to have to do it. Because once you drop this back down, it's going to come right up. So the next challenge is hoping they get it off the transfer tape. Okay, but I don't know if you noticed, but I did this half. So this half's okay up to about here, right? So then I flip it around, I'm gonna do this half. Okay, almost there. Actually surprised my camera hasn't shut off on me yet. I got a GoPro 7 and a GoPro 10, and the 10, for some reason, it likes to overheat. Okay, so everything's good, so I'm gonna pick everything up. Now remember, all we had to do is just move it over just a tiny bit. And that's why you want to make sure all your everything's in place correctly. Because if I had did a test cut first before I cut this, I wouldn't even have to do all this. And that new machine I got, I'm not quite used to because the carbon fiber is loaded off a 24-inch roll. Well, they wanted a 23-inch sticker, so that doesn't leave me a lot of room for error. So sometimes I'll make a box, a 23-inch box, maybe about a 1/4 inch big, and then I'll cut that first and kind of see where that goes. And if it's if it's too far, then I know to move the artwork over. But it's whatever. I mean, it came out okay. So this is the first one that's ready to go. Okay, so basically what I did was I taped the original decal, the one I repaired, to the window, and then I taped the new backing paper to the back of that, or to the front. So I'm going to take each star, place them individually, and then the numbers. So this camera keeps acting weird, so if the editing seems kind of funny, I've had to turn it off and on a few times, but right now it's recording. So I apologize if there's any, I'll try to go through everything when I edit, but okay, so we'll start with this one. And as long as you get the 2 points where they need to go, and that one's a little bit off. Right there. Okay, so that one's good. And I'm probably just gonna go ahead and time lapse this so you don't have to sit here and be bored with me the whole time. So I'm not gonna talk too much while I do this because I'm gonna run the time lapse. But yeah, so far so good. Everything's going smooth. I really wish I could listen to music while I do this, because sure love my music. And Mom, if you're watching, I love you very much, and I know you are. Yeah, going pretty fast. One good thing about this is that these are getting, how I had to pick up that that other job up off the backing paper just to ensure that it comes up for the customer, so I won't have to do all that here because I'm already doing it. And we are getting it. We're getting it. And I noticed on these new ones, so I cut the original one off of my larger US cutter, the MH cutter. This other set I had to use the Cameo. So these replacement all these stars here, they're probably like a millimeter smaller. But that actually works out for me because it gives me kind of a drop shadow behind what I'm seeing here to go off of. I remember now while I was talking about eBay. So I went to edit my listing to take off the carbon fiber option. But by editing to eBay, that's basically making a new listing. So eBay won't let me make any more new listings. They said my performance is down too low. And like I said, I got a lot of my decals are under $10 in sales on eBay, so I have to ship them with a stamp. eBay, in their infinite wisdom, they won't allow you to put any kind of a tracking number or anything on a stamped envelope. But with Etsy, you can not necessarily have tracking, but it will let the customer know when items been delivered. If the post office chooses to scan as they go, they can actually see a little bit of the progress. So it's a much better system, but you know, I don't know how many people go through that with eBay, but I just got really tired of it. Always. And even half the time, even with tracking, I'd get complaints. Because what the post office does is they'll load the truck, so they'll scan their packages, they'll load the truck. Sometimes they might sit in that truck for a couple of days. Well, to the customer, it says delivered. So that's probably my only issue with that I have with customers on Etsy, is that it says delivered and they haven't got it yet. But I just let them know what's going on, and most of them are just totally decent about it. So, okay. Okay, so that one's all done. So now I just got to pull it off the window, take it back, and throw the transfer tape over it, roll them up, ship them out, and we're good. I don't know if you want to see that, but I'll film it anyway, put it on here, but it's basically going to be the same thing that I just did with the other one. All right, let's get to that. Well, you know what? Before I even do that, let's take these off. I want to show you what I did here. All right, so this top one, I'm just sticking this tape to my shirt because I don't want it stuck to my window. Okay, see? So there's the new one, right? There's the new one. And this is the original one that I had to repair. Yeah, so that's what I basically did. I taped this one first, then I taped the blank paper on top of it. So that's what I had to do. All right, let's get to the other stuff. Okay, so this is the replacement one here. So we're gonna, sorry, I'm always looking at this camera trying to figure out where to put it. So we're gonna go ahead and take this one. Okay. Dang tape split open in the front there. Now this one I'll lay down face first. This is my preferred method because the way I did that other one, everything worked out okay, but I just prefer to do it this way because then you can kind of do this on the back. Okay. Flip her over. Be careful when you're doing this because you can hit that vinyl because it does raise up just a tiny bit. You can hit that vinyl and cause damage. So when I'm sitting here going really fast, I'm not necessarily giving it a lot of pressure. Okay, we'll do our little test here, make sure it comes up. Perfect. Yeah, I had just enough of my scrap carbon fiber to finish this job, which is crazy. So I think from this point on, if I get an order for some, I'm either gonna have to cancel the order or let the customer know that it's no longer an option, and if they prefer a different color maybe. Because I can print a carbon fiber pattern in the BN20. I do that with the skull flags. I have a red one that I use, and I just put a carbon fiber pattern in the clipping mask. Okay, so next thing I do, this will be the final stage here. I'll throw it in my laminator, my cold laminator. Just kind of run it through. I put the rollers a little bit tight, but not tight enough to crease the job. And that just gives it a nice smooth overall even pressure throughout. Okay, and that's it, you guys. Those extra stars that I have, I think I had 2 extra stars. I'm gonna throw that in just in case. Maybe when they're putting it on, they mess one up or something, just so they have extra. But yeah, other than that, that's how I had to finish that job without having enough material. And that's why I always save scrap. You never know when you're gonna need it, and if it's a color like these are all scrap pieces here. These are all like, there's gold, soft pink, there's a green. I mean, I don't necessarily use those a lot, but I have those there just in case. Your vinyl does have a shelf life, so you want to know what that is. Make sure you don't use vinyl that's been sitting for years, you know. But yeah, other than that, 1776 carbon fiber. Came out good. This is the one I did manually. I hope that was enjoyable, and hope I taught somebody something. Thanks for watching. We'll do the next one real soon.